Hey guys, another Monday in the books. It was a little slow, a little challenging this morning, but not a bad day. Just a really slow, low volume. We didn't have any earnings reported this morning. So typically when you don't have any earnings being reported that morning, it's going to be hard for my setups, for the way I trade. Because a lot of these other catalysts that make stocks move, you have a lot of buyouts, or you may have some secondary offerings, things that stocks will go to one price. They'll navigate to that one price and then just trade within a range all day. Those aren't the ones I'm looking for. So I'm looking for those that give us the best opportunity to make a decent profit and give us some room that we can actually trade. But before we look at my day, I want to tell you guys, you are enough. Some of you may not believe, or you may get into this trading and things may not be going well for you. You may think you don't have what it takes to manage your discipline. You don't have what it takes to be a trader, but you do. You are enough. You have everything you need to make it and get to the next level. Some of you, it may take a little longer. Some of you may need more help than others. That's just the way of the world. There were things that coming up that I needed extra help in, that other people just got naturally. And I needed that extra help. And some of you need that. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you are serious about getting to your goals, you got to reach out and you got to get it. Now, some of you can do it on your own. Some of you have the ability to fix yourself or to work through things, on your own. But most of us can't do that. I couldn't do that. A lot of people that I know can't do that. So, we have to realize that, understand that we have what it takes. Sometimes it just takes a little bit more for it to come out of us and for us to get to where we need to be. So we can't give up. We can't quit. You guys have it. Regardless of where you are right now, regardless of what you have right now, everybody has it in you. Everybody has enough to be successful. So we just have to, go out and grab it. So let's take a look at this PCG today. This was gapping down, and I was licking my chops because I love stocks that are gapping down, especially getting ready to get below the 52-week low. But this kind of hung around here pre-market. It sold out pretty good during pre-market, but just before the market opened, it started to bounce. And one of the things that I'm changing, well, not changing, but it's one of the things that the adaptations that I make during the summer is I look more for long trades. Usually when the market is hot, we got good earnings, all these stocks reporting earnings, I can find shorts left and right. That's what I like. I started 100% long trader. I got into shorts, found out that was what I like the most. That's what I see better. And that's where my focus is. But I can trade to the long side. That's where I started. And so if a stock has room for a long trade, then I'm going to have a plan for the long side and I'm going to have a plan for the short side. And so today, even though we were, our bias automatically is going to be to the short side because of, where we're gapping down and we're in between these two levels. So, the stock started to recover here and we put in this opening candle. And this was about $1. a dollar range here. And so I didn't want to just jump in this on the break. This came open right on the 20. It sold off to the VWAP, got bought right back up, and then started to pull back. And I said, this has to close above the opening range high. And this closed like 1 cent above it. And then this candle opened right on the opening range high and started to make that push up. I got in on that strength I saw, and we made a nice move up. Now, the mistake I made was my first target shouldn't have been 39.50. It should have been the 50 day or the 50 period moving average, not 50 day. This yellow line is a 50 period moving average. And, once the profit hit my my order, my bid, then I realized, man, I should have had it up here. This was the ideal place. But it pushed through a little bit and then started to sell, and it prompted me to take another piece off up here. And I left another piece on to see if we were going to get the 100 period. This was my target. And had we set up over the 100 period, I was going to get in risking on the 100 period to get up to the 200. But I had the plan all laid out. But it just didn't work. And this is the way stocks trade. Not every stock is going to do exactly what you want it to do. And it's probably not going to do it as perfectly as the last stock you saw. And you said, next time it does this, I know what to do. And I'm going to take it. And you're going to expect it to make this big move. But it didn't. And you could see it did get stuffed here. What I saw in terms of the price action here was right on point, because you can see for 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40 minutes, we could not push this 50 period. We couldn't push it. And then once we broke through, we made the strong move up. I was looking to take that last piece on a move through 40.05. We never got it. It pulled back and I ended up stopping out on my profit stop. So this was a solid trade, solid setup. I got in. My technical stop would have been a close back below the opening range low, which conveniently would have been a close below the 20, the VWAP, and the 9. But with them trending up like this, I felt real good about the chances of this trade making this move. It just didn't. But there's some things that I can do to help maximize the efficiency of my trading. And see, that's why, I'm not trying to increase my share size. Everybody, not everybody, but I, get a lot of PMs and stuff about people. Are you gonna increase your position size? Or why are you still trading 100 to 300 shares? I don't want you guys moving to bigger share size just yet. You need to trade small for a couple of months. Get used to managing 100 to 300 shares and maximize the efficiency of your trades using those smaller share sizes. Because if you can't effectively manage 100 shares, you can't do 1,000. You'll be just as sloppy or sloppier. And dealing with 1,000 shares, if it goes against you a point, real quick, you're going to be down $1,000. Versus if it goes against you real quick and you're only in 100 shares, you can deal with that. A whole lot better. So my thing is, I'm just working on maximizing the efficiency of my trading. Looking at, when I do things like this, what do I need to do to ensure that I set the proper targets? Most of the time I don't go back over my trade plan and look at it, and that's probably what I need to do. I probably need to take a second look at it and then, make sure that I know where all of the significant supply zones are going to be, or the pivots and moving averages, and then go from there. So didn't really have a tight trade on this, but we did pretty good. We did make almost 130 bucks on it. This EVAC trade was it wasn't even a trade. It was an accident, pre-market. I was typing in to see if this stock had any shorts. I wasn't even interested in trading this thing. It didn't even have a good catalyst. I was just checking to see if it had shorts, so that if it did come into play, maybe the news that came out could be unverified, and that'll put this in play. Whatever the case, I accidentally shorted it 300 shares. I honestly believe it was a hotkey that I used. And I don't use hotkeys, but I do have some program that if I ever start, I've got some basic ones programmed. And I think I hit shift to type in the capital letters, which you really don't need, but it's kind of force of habit. When I hit shift and I hit the letter, I think it shorted me. And, that's what got me in. So I gave it like 10 cents. I said I just give it 10 cents to see if it works. And it just hung there. And then it just started to move up, and I took it off. But it wasn't a setup, wasn't a trade, wasn't really anything to look at. It's just a $35 fat finger accident is what it turned out to be. So if you look at this PCG later on in the day, you can see how we made a lower low here. A lower high here, lower low. And it was a nice bear trap, because how many people would jump on this short once you lost VWAP? And the way I like to trade these, I let it fall through VWAP first. Then I need another candle to go back and test this and reject it for me to get in. And that's exactly what it did. It pushed up to test it, but it pushed through. And we held above the VWAP. Eventually we hit my target, but look at how far down my target was now. It's right around where I took profit the first time. So, just craziness in my trading today. But this was a 500 million share float stock, so it's not going to trade, as volatile and, move as fast. Now, I did get a lot of emails today and a lot of PMs about FSLR. This was on our swing watch, and this is the first strategy that I taught in the swing class. And what it seems like some traders are having trouble doing is understanding the difference between a swing trade and a day trade. In fact, insofar as you don't sit there and watch a swing trade on a 5-minute chart all day. If you're in a swing trade, you use a daily chart. If you want to use an hourly chart, that's fine, but you don't want to look at it and track it intraday. That doesn't work for swing trades. That's a way to lose your money. You have to give these stocks room, and they're not going to be perfect. They're just like every other stock. You know, it's not going to make the perfect move every time. And in this case, this was doing just what we wanted to do. We sold off on some volume. I thought we were getting a volume bottom here. I mean, that's common sense, right? And here was the level here. This is what we were looking at on Sunday in the watch list session. Now, we talked about getting in and using this level as a guide, you know, versus using the low of the previous candle. If you have a level of support that this thing is bouncing off of, this is what you need to use. And you can see today, we triggered a nice entry today, but it immediately started to sell off. Well, where I would expect it to bottom would be this level right here. So if I had gotten in today, my stop would have been probably around 51 to give it enough room to test this 51.71 pivot, this level here. And if we closed above it, then I'm going to be good. If we close below it and we still haven't hit my max loss stop, or the room that I'm giving it, I may have taken it off. But I'm not going to sit here and watch this all day. You don't want to sit here and watch these things tick for tick on an intraday chart, because it will stop you out prematurely before the move even happens. So the move didn't happen today, but it can very well happen tomorrow. Because let's look at CAR. This is the stock I took last week, and I was looking for it to reject this level up here, because we came in and we started slowing down, and you know, we had a little bump in volume, so I'm thinking this is it. Well, the next day, you know, I get in and it pushes up, but it doesn't hold its level. It sells off and it closes below that level. That's a stop. Okay, we closed below the level that I was looking for. Now, if it bounced off of this, then I just get back in it when it's set up. I didn't get back in it. You know, I could have gotten in on this candle right here, and we made it run right up to the 20. Hit first target. You know, but I already got stopped out. And that's how you have to trade these things. You know, find that level that you want to see it bouncing off of. When it sets up and you want to use that level, you know, as your guide. And so tomorrow, if this sets up tomorrow, I'll probably take some. I'll probably take a position on this using this level here as my stop. So we'll talk about that more in the morning when we're looking at our swing watch list. But I wanted to address that, you know, with everybody that emailed me or PM me. I told you I would answer the question, you know, here on this video. And also tomorrow I'm in class. But the main thing is, you know, you want to use this level that we were looking at this weekend. Then we said this would probably be where, if it pulled back, this is probably going to be where it bounced. No, unfortunately on this one, you know, we sold off and went to this next level. And that's where it bounced. You know, and this is going to happen sometimes. But, you know, this is why we take our loss with a grain of salt. Know that, hey, we were just a little bit early, but our idea was right. And we could always get in on the backside of the move. Alright, so that's going to do it for me today. You guys Have a great evening. We'll get back at it tomorrow. And, we'll see what tomorrow will bring. So have a good night, everybody. And we'll see you in the morning.